everybody. This is Tyler Main, and you are listening to The Movie Raid.
It's time for The Movie Raid, and tonight's victim is an actor that played in Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2 remake as Michael Myers, and that's Tyler Main. Hello.
How you doing, man? How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Fucking peachy, dude. So, you got some new projects, or at least one that's about to come out sometime this year. What would that be?
Compound Fracture.
Compound Fracture.
Yeah, it's our flagship one through Main Entertainment. And it's got myself, Derek Mears from Friday the 13th, Muse Watson from I Know What You Did Last Summer, Leslie Easterbrook, Todd Farmer makes a cameo in it.
Awesome.
Roebuck makes a cameo in it. My wife is in it. And I was just watching the opening scenes. And because A.J. Rickard Epstein, who is directing it, was editing together some stuff, and it is looking kick-ass.
Rock on. What kind of film is this? Is this a slasher, or a psychological, or what action?
It is a supernatural thriller with a lot of blood and guts.
Awesome. It's not like that torture porn, is it, or is it pretty good?
No. It is basically, to tell you a little bit about it, without giving anything away, it's the sins of a father are revisited on his son. So it is a 3 generations of family have to deal with their issues.
Would you say this would be an actual different film compared to what's been released right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a family dealing with their struggles and what they have to do to get through a weekend. I don't want to give too much away, but I mean the storyline is great. It was written by my wife and myself, and like I say, we're editing it together right now, and going to be releasing it soon.
So, if this pans out really well, do you continue to make more films, or have you made more films through your company? We
have another one lined up that we're looking at doing in September.
Wow.
So yeah, we have about 7 different pictures lined up that we're wanting to do.
So why would you want to go to doing your own production through your own company? Is it just because other companies are just getting too high as far as the pay, or what is it in your opinion?
Well, I mean, you get to, as an artist, you get to have control of your projects, and you get to do the projects that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole reason for us creating Main Entertainment and for me starting it up.
Yeah, there are other companies out there that are just like record labels when it comes to bands. I mean, it's the same thing, both related, because you got the bigger companies. It just depends, like, if your film's good enough, the whole thing.
Right, exactly. I mean, main thing is you got to start with a great script.
Yeah.
And have that story element there, and have everything that is needed to drive the picture through. And that's the one main thing that I look for when we're starting a project, making sure that we have the great script.
Yeah, and even that is a pain in the ass, just getting the script passed over to one person.
Oh, I mean, we Renee and myself, we rewrote this thing 4 times from page 1 rewrites.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's the whole process was, it took us, I think about a year and a half to just about 2 years for the writing process of it.
Yeah, it's just, when it comes to these companies like that, there's a lot of films out there that won't get made because the company either wants more Hollywoodish or something that they just want to do themselves. It's like, okay, just give us the film and we'll just redo it for you.
Yeah, exactly. Or they want to do something more mainstream, or a lot of people are taking the safe route and just doing remakes.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Speaking of which, and you yourself have played in a remake, but very few remakes actually make a really decent film like Rob Zombie's Halloween remake, because if you look at the original and you look at the remake of Rob Zombie's, it actually puts you in Michael Myers' shoes in the remake.
Right, exactly. And that's the whole thing. When Rob originally talked to me about it, I didn't want to do a one-dimensional character, and it's tough when you don't have a voice.
Yeah.
But he explained how he was going to do it with the telling of the backstory, and how he is a product of his environment, and how he was turned into what he was. And I really liked that idea, and it was fun being able to do those transitions.
Yeah, it's just because you're basically looking at the actual life of Michael Myers from beginning to how he ended up being this demented, serial killer. But when you look at the original, it's like, okay, he kills, his own family members. Why?
Exactly.
You don't know why.
And that's the thing with Rob's. It explains that he's a product of his environment. He comes from a fucked up background.
Yeah.
And all those things, plus the chemical imbalance in his head or whatever he has, just tweaks him to become that ultimate killing machine, that shark.
Yeah, because
so to speak.
In the original, it's like maybe he did have a bad childhood. It doesn't show it because it just shows him in his costume holding his knife, and then the rest of it, okay, he just kills and kills and kills. Why? It doesn't explain. It's a classic film, of course, but when you watch the remake, it actually covers a lot of his story.
Yeah.
And of course, you playing as the character, it's a lot of people will say it, just like when people play as Jason Voorhees. Well, anybody can play as him. Yeah, but can you do it right?
Yeah, hey, everybody's going to have an opinion of it, and everybody's going to have their own take on things. So, I just go out there and do what I do, and hopefully the people like it, and they seem to be receptive to it, and, that's all you can ask.
Yeah, remakes, they finally eased up a little bit, but now they're bringing more back. A whole slew more coming out. The problem is like the remakes that's been coming out for the past few years is either because they want to change it from the original, or they're a huge fan of, like a fanboy of it.
Right. Well, and it's for a studio or for whoever, it's kind of a safe bet. So to speak. You've already got that built-in fan following.
Yeah, you already got an existing franchise, a really cult classic. But once the years roll by, it's like, hey, let's remake it and then get those fans back. And it's like, oh my god, it depends because it's really risky now to have remakes. It really has to be dead on to make it have more story.
With all of these, it's just it goes through a cycle, and pretty soon they'll be moving on from doing remakes to whatever.
And prequels. Now we're going to go to prequels.
So it's just I think it's just for a lot of the studios and stuff. It's just the flavor of the month. Whatever everybody else is doing, jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, it may not be the whole intention, like what I just mentioned, but it just appears to be. It's like, it has to either be the money, or either you want to change something on the original from back then.
And that it is a safe bet with a built-in audience already.
It really is, because and of course a lot of people say, well, it's the younger generation. Yeah, right.
You get that way. You get the younger generation, plus you get the diehard fans and the people that saw the original. Want to revisit them. So, who knows?
Yeah, very few remakes actually make it out there. There's a lot of remakes that really don't make it. They may have some good scenes here. A little bit of tidbit that wasn't in the original. It's like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that. Or it just doesn't make it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It really has to. And same thing. It's equally as risky as making sequels now. Often existing franchise.
Yeah. Well, and they got to make sure that you take the time to do them. Once you get something greenlit, you got to make sure that you have a tight script and go that way.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to rush something out because we get to do this, let's go do it. You got to take your time and do it right.
Yeah. Speaking of which, since you're into writing, how long have you been doing that? Have you just started that?
What started the writing?
Yeah.
I'm more of the concept person. My wife is the one that is doing a lot of the writing. She was with Top Cow Comic Books. She was their editor-in-chief. She was there for like 10 years, and now she's at Radical as one of their senior editors, developing comic books. So, she comes from a background in that, plus she's got the theater background. But I'm more of the idea concept guy, coming up with the scenes, and she figures out how to weave them in.
Yeah, it's kind of like the painter-writer scenario.
I'm more of a visual person, because, when I was growing up, I was slightly dyslexic, so I didn't like to read and all of that, so I became a visual person.
So does that...
see the scene in my head.
Yeah. Does that mean, as far as acting goes, does that kind of take you away from it, or do you want to further enhance that as well as the writing, or what you do?
No, what do you mean?
Like, do you more want to go toward the concept than the acting, or do you still want to continue acting?
Oh no, I'm still continuing the acting, and and that's the reason for doing these movies and these films, because for a guy my size, there's a lot of limited roles that come along. So we figured we would create them and develop our own storylines also.
Yeah, but no, that it is hard for those. Like you said, it is hard for those. I mean, you're tall to get an actual good role, because you're too tall. Sorry, I can't do it.
Right.
Unless okay, we'll make you a monster. It's like, well, that kind of restricts you.
Done that, been there. Thanks. Moving on.
Yeah, that restricts you from pretty much doing anything in the industry. It's like, well, it's like the little people. I mean, they try their best to be a really good actor, but the problem is, like, you're too short, you're too fat, you're.
Yeah, so I mean, but there's always, there's limitations to everything you do, and that's why, I'm just blazing the trail and creating my own stuff and doing it that way.
Do you actually learn from the characters that you perform? Do you actually incorporate that into your own life?
I mean, anything you do, like any performance you do, is you bring your life scenarios to it, so it's kind of just getting the ability to express some of your thoughts and your process from your life, and that's what you bring to the acting table.
Well, or you could possibly even learn from the character that you play as, and it's like, well, I could relate to that from the character that you play
I don't
as.
want to relate to Michael Myers too much.
No. Certainly not. Not unless you want to learn how to cook with a fucking knife,
Yeah, exactly.
What is your opinion on the film industry? How do you think it is? What do you think it's all about? Do you think it's just all one big political machine, or what do you think it is?
I mean, you have your various things. You have your political machines at the higher up, and they're churning out what they're churning out, and then you also have the independent, which is becoming a lot stronger, and it seems like that's even coming the way to go a lot of the times, and you even have the new media markets that are popping up for things. It's a forever changing field that we play on, and you have to be able to adapt and adjust and figure out which way to go.
Yeah, it's getting rougher every year, though. The problem is like film, they're going more and more toward the trendy. Like I said, between the past few short years we've had that it's been more like comedy drama ones, and then they had chick flicks, and then they have action like the cop ones, and now we're going back to the remakes again.
Yeah, I just got Derek Mears just walked into my office and just walked out. Oh my God.
That bitch!
He was goofing around.
Get his ass in here. Let's go.
Oh, too funny. I mean, it was just a very bad visual.
What, was he naked or something?
No. Thank God, though. Oh, okay. That was my laugh of the day. Well, as you can tell, Derek and I are good friends, very close friends. We live about a block and a half away from each other, so we're always hanging out. And
so you guys are going to basically have a whole slew of films like what they did with Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
Just have a bunch of people and just playing it. It doesn't matter. Who cares? It's going to be a great film, I think. How are we getting paid? Hell no. We'll see what we get. That's why you have a company, Tyler. That's what you're there for.
Oh, God. Oh, let's get back to the serious stuff now.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. I'm not going to be able to get that visual out of my mind. I just... Oh.
And you thought Michael Myers was bad, okay?
Yeah.
No, Derek Mears naked. That's the thought of the day.
Yeah, wow.
So when's this film that you're going to be in? Can we expect this? Maybe next year, or is it actually almost done? What?
I mean, it's almost done. We've got some more editing, probably about another month of editing, and then we're putting the soundtrack to it and all of that. So we're looking at probably having it done by to be safe, beginning of June.
Really?
Yeah. So it'll knock on wood, be coming out soon.
Ah. You actually prefer using actual film scores? I know a lot of films like to use band tracks, which is not bad. It's great promotion for them, but it kind of kills the scene when there's a band playing, not actual score, you know.
Yeah, well, see, we've got a buddy of mine, Jason Charles Miller, who is the lead singer for Godhead. Him and are going to be scoring it for us.
Awesome.
And they're just awesome. So,
yeah, they're awesome, man.
Yeah, so it's going to be amazing. I mean, we've heard some of their stuff that they're planning for it, and it's just incredible. And like I say, today we just saw the first 5 minutes and some of the action scenes cut together, and it is looking amazing.
I can see on the DVD there's already going to be a video of them specifically for that film, right?
Yeah.
I bet so. I knew it. All right, so between on sets and location, what do you prefer?
You mean
as far as filming goes?
Being on set?
Yeah. Do you actually prefer
being on set?
Because some people prefer to film on location, or some people prefer.
Okay. Well, I call it one and the same. You know, wherever set is, that is set. You know, whether it's location or whatever. But for this one, we had a house just outside of L.A. And, you know, we were there for like 20-some days, and it was just amazing being able to come to work and play with all these super talented people. And I mean, we just had fun, and it was the best time I had on a movie shoot in my career to date. You know, it's just amazing when you get to create and have fun and play and be with such talented people, you know.
Do you plan to work with more independent, try to get their films more distributed through your company?
Well, you know, right now we're just planning on doing our own stuff and seeing where that goes. Eventually, you know, who knows? Like I say, it's forever changing, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, or at least try to get into some local theaters that people's never even seen this film, doesn't even know anything about it. Just play it in there, see what the hell happens.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think the major problems are in the film industry that should be resolved right now?
Wow, I mean, that's a big question, and, you know, stepping in on the producer's side and just going through it now, I mean, I'd have to say, ask me that question again in a year to see where I stand, but I don't really know how to answer that one for you.
You would so lose a beauty contest.
I know. No.
Why don't you just say world peace and get it over with?
Yeah, world peace. Now, if I was in a beauty contest, I'd just kill everybody and win and take the...
Yeah.
You know?
That'd be super awesome. We should do it.
I mean, well, yeah, I mean, you're asking these loaded questions. It's like, well, you know?
You want me to ask you what your favorite color is? How about that?
Black.
There we go.
Next question.
What kind of hair lights do you use for the girls?
Oh, God. All these tough questions.
I know. Yeah. Is that your real hair?
That is my real hair, and it's thinning.
And that is my real knife. All right, go ahead and plug in any web addresses for your films or anything in general, even for Derek.
Any web addresses, you said?
Any web addresses that you would like to promote.
Oh, yes. ManeEntertainment.com, M-A-N-E Entertainment.com, TylerMaine.com, and we're working on the Compound Fracture website also.
Yes, Compound Fracture.
You can go to the Maine Entertainment website and see about it.
Because he's not going to tell you. That's why he plugged in his own website. So go look at it.
Exactly.
God.
And everybody needs to follow me on Twitter. It is Tyler_Maine, and follow Derek Mears, Derek_Maine, and follow Todd_Farmer.
Yes.
We're the three crazy people. It's kind of funny how I got Derek to actually come on board for this. You know, I said, hey, I'm doing a film, and he was like, well, are you sure you're going to be doing it? I had to go over and toilet paper his house with Todd Farmer to get him to say, yeah, he wanted to take me on in a film. And it worked.
There you go, people. Tyler Maine.